All right, so let's kick this off. So, welcome everyone to the Sitecore Symposium 2025 recap. A little bit about Rodrigo. Maybe you want to go through your slide, just talk us to who you are, if there's
Yeah,
anyone on this call who
just
doesn't know who you
quickly.
are.
Sure. Well, we introduced myself already. Been working with Sitecore since 2010, 10 times MVP, twice as an ambassador. It's been my 9th hackathon this year. Next year, we're gonna complete 10 years participating in a hackathon. Also, we founded this group together, Diego, almost 10 years ago, and next year is gonna be a special year for us because we're completing 10 years. So that's me. I'm Arc System in Brazil country head. I take care of the office here and do a lot of things, but not programming anymore, which makes me sad. Your turn.
Well, I already spoke a little bit about myself, but I did not mention. Well, I do work currently at Proficient as a Sitecore architect. I'm a 4-time Sitecore technology MVP. And yeah, I was one of the co-founders of this user group here. So let's dive into here. Symposium highlights. So where was it? It happened in Orlando, Florida, in the Walt Disney World Dolphin Hotel. This was already a house for 2 symposiums in 2018 and 19, if I recall correctly. It happened earlier this month. It was from November 3rd to the 5th. We also had the MVP Summit happening there, but we'll talk at the end of this presentation. Rodrigo will cover that. And the main theme of the presentation was AI meets human connection. So, okay, so let's start with the keynotes. We had, we're going to talk about announcements in a moment, but I mean, we had keynotes from starting with Eric Stein, Sitecore CEO, have Dave Tilbury, Sitecore COO, and of course, Michelle, she's the CMO. We had many others. I'm not going to name one by one, but in every single presentation, every single keynote, we would hear something new, so, something exciting that Sitecore was releasing during the symposium, mainly Sitecore's vision to the future, to the present and to the future, and of course, like in some real case customers that were already adopting the platform, the technology, and how they were benefiting from it. We also had some interesting feature speakers during the symposium. One of them probably was my favorite feature speaker was Jesse Cole. Um, I did not know about what Savannah bananas were. I mean, if we're in Brazil, baseball is not a big thing here, but it is in the United States. And Savannah bananas is the equivalent of, if you guys know the Harlan's Global Throttle, the basketball things and how they do a lot of fun things with with basketball, a lot of entertaining around that. This is in my head the equivalent of that, but in baseball. So this guy here, with his wife, they created this business, which is basically a baseball team targeting for entertainment, right? So he shared a lot of insights on how he went from this, crazy, quote unquote, crazy idea of creating like a baseball team like that for that purpose, and how he turned that into like a national success, where they have like sold out stadiums for seasons. Like everybody want to see, because there's a lot of entertainment fun. They interact with the audience, the fans. So it's all about creating an interesting experience. And I'm actually gonna share in the chat in a moment a video. And this video, if you watch it, you're gonna get an idea as to what the presentation was. This is very similar to what we saw in Orlando. It's not exactly the same one, but if you watch it, you're gonna get a good idea as to what that is. So I'll paste that during this
Just
session.
don't watch now.
No,
Watch us first.
yes, you watch us first, and then you go to the next video if you have time. All right, so next slide. That's on you, Rodrigo.
Yep. A side note on the Savannah Banana, I think he gave so many interesting hints on how to get fans, right? How to touch people with the emotion, how to make them feel important, exclusive. It was very important insights, I guess. But this guest note, Paul Rotter, was also a very good one. He spoke the whole thing, the whole session about UI, AI. He is the founder of Marketing AI Institute, discussing the future. And I have some screenshots here. I'm sorry, I took the pictures myself, so they're not looking that good. But he got a lot of interesting insights about how to adopt AI in your applications. He's talking about doing that only with data, repetitive, data-driven things, repetitive tasks, predictive tasks, tasks that generate content instead of with everything at once. You just use selecting these things, and spoke up as well a good timeline about how AI is progressing during all this time. And I think that was a very generic, but at the same time, an important session to us all because it brought so many facts about using AI that makes us understand more about this tool, which was the key of the whole event, speaking about AI. So that was a great opening.
And I would encourage, sorry, Rodrigo, I would encourage everyone here to actually follow him on LinkedIn. He's the CEO of Smarter X. He was even mentioning like in this timeline, right? I mean, everybody knows here that AI is not a new thing; it's something that already exists. But he kind of like went through in his presentation why AI is actually turning into what we're all seeing today. Like, what are the breakthroughs that happened, right, with LLM and whatnot, and kind of like where this whole thing is going. So, super interesting presentation. I agree. All right, let's go to the next slide then. Well, of course, at the end of the symposium, typically we have a symposium party. This year, we had the party was at the Universal Studios park. So part of the park was closed just for the Sitecore attendees. This was super fun because, I
Yeah.
mean,
No lines.
with no lines. I mean, that's the way you enjoy Disney, right? I mean, you go to Disney, you can go to, to the rides multiple times. Like, for example, I was with a friend going to the Mummy, that movie, the Mummy ride. And
Mhm.
there, when we finished, we just look at each other. There was nobody in the line. We just, let's just go again. It's like super fun. It just went through again. That's impossible to do during a regular
Yeah.
Disney day. And it was actually super nice. Another thing that happened there, you guys know that Orlando is close to Cape Canaveral. So it was a coincidence, but when we got into the park, we were seeing a SpaceX launch. So we actually got to see a SpaceX launch. It was
SpaceX.
far, but still, you looked up, you were seeing, oh my God, that's like a rocket, going to this space right now. That was actually super nice as well. Anything you want to add to the party here, Rodrigo?
No, that was super fun. I made the mummy ride 5 times, which is impossible. Free food, free drinks, um, and it was a lot of fun. The only complaint I have is too short. It was just 2.5 hours, I guess, and there was a lot of traffic, so we missed a little bit of the party due to traffic.
Yeah.
But other than that, cool.
Okay.
Yeah. So to the announcements, Sitecore this year had so many important announcements. As you know, Sitecore has been for a long time investing in the cloud and in composable applications with XM Cloud and now CDP, Personalize, and Sitecore Search, and all those products. But now they are introducing Sitecore AI as the unification of all these platforms. So everything you hear in the past about the products I mentioned, everything now is below this same umbrella of Sitecore AI. And it's made already available for us since November 10th. So if you have a Sitecore XM Cloud panel today, you log in after November 10th and you see the new UX, right? So there is a new UX, a new menu, and the organization of the whole products are inside the same menu. But it's not just one re-architecture of the visuals. Actually, they are building from scratch a lot of things because they're building on top of AI now. So all the products they build under Sitecore AI umbrella, they do have by out of the box from factory day one for free as part of the license AI, and that's a very important announcement everybody was looking forward.
Yeah, and to Rodrigo's point here, I think the like because now we used to have all these SaaS boxes, right? We had CDP, Personalize, XM Cloud, we have Content Hub, we have Sitecore Order Cloud. Now they're unifying this as a one thing. So currently, you have to think that Sitecore AI is actually the equivalent of what we have. We're going to go into details around what exists or not down the road, but it's XM Cloud, CDP, Personalize, and Sitecore Search. They're now part of this whole product that they're calling Sitecore AI. It's built, like, as Rodrigo said, on top of with the AI at its core, right? So it's not like an add-on, like a layer that they are adding to Sitecore, like Sitecore Stream, for example. No, no, the whole product is around AI. Sitecore Content Hub, and I know it's going to be integrated. They did announce that they're going to integrate, but that's not released just yet. And Order Cloud, it's TBD, so it's not currently part of Sitecore AI. So it sits on its own product. So yeah, so let's move on. Also, this slide is just kind of like if you're used to XM Cloud, things changed a little bit. So if you log into, as Rodrigo was saying, you log into XM Cloud, things are slightly different. The menus. So now you used to have projects. Now it's under strategy, campaigns, portfolio. You have channel side. So things moved a little bit, but if you browse it for a few minutes, you should be able to find everything that you need in this new Sitecore AI platform.
Yes, and they also introduce as part of the Sitecore AI platform what they're calling Sitecore Studio. And the Sitecore Studio is the place where four products has been organized: Agentic Studio, App Studio, Sitecore Connect, and Marketplace. For the four of them, we have a separate slide, so I think I'll let Diego go ahead.
Okay, so let's start with Agentic Studio. I mean, we are all here I hope, have used a tool like ChatGPT, for example, right? So you should be familiar with what a prompt window is, right? So you ask something, you're gonna get in return a response, with a prompt, with LLM and whatnot. So now we have something like that inside Core AI, which is this Agentic Studio, which has pre-built agents in it, right? And these agents are actually they are built to actually do specific tasks within Sitecore AI, and we're going to be covering around the agents available. I actually saw that there were more that were recently released, but out of the box they released with 8 agents to kind of like drive the workflow, right? So you can actually orchestrate multiple flows to get like complex tools, like for example, generating campaigns, targeting audiences, everything that evolves around a marketing day to day to actually get, an idea for a campaign out. You can actually do that with the help of AI to get that done for you, right? Um, I think that the key message here is AI is for everyone on the team, so just not for the technical specialists. And so yeah, so let's go to the next one. We also have App Studio. So App Studio is a developer workspace that gives technical teams the tools to build custom applications, extensions, and even AI agents on top of Sitecore AI. So the idea, think about it as like a developer toolkit, if you will, that actually opens the platform for, even though keeping the SaaS model in mind, with full control over the platform, but at the same time extensible, so we can, integrate our own APIs, to access Sitecore features. So we can actually do integrations with MCP, and other things like that. So really here the idea is a hub for developers and partners to really extend Sitecore, and actually get the best out of it. Now, one thing that we didn't say around the composable thing, and that was actually something that was really, discussed in the chats around what does this all mean around composable versus monolith, right? Because the past few years we kept hearing and hearing around composable and composable. That is the best thing. But at the same time, now we're looking at the whole platform and saying, hey, we're now like everything of these tools are now part of one big platform. Does that mean composable goes away? So I guess the answer is sort of. I think the idea here is like we're trying to get the best of the two worlds, right? I mean, we want to have the ability for you to add your custom and compose that, your custom tools, but at the same time, if you don't pay, you're not going to use. For example, if you're not using CDP, you don't need to pay for that, right? I mean, so the whole idea around Sitecore AI is pay for what you're going to use. So if you don't use, then that's not part of your solution, right? Okay, so let's go to the next one, Rodrigo.
Yeah.
Marketplace.
Okay. Yeah. Marketplace is the other feature that they have announced. They are promising for a long time. If you are like us, from still young, but from the early days, you can remember that Sitecore had a couple attempts to have a marketplace, and it was never even well maintained. It was not easy to use or everything. But finally, they have released a full marketplace, full of interesting features to make sure the apps are good, the apps are tested, the apps are maintained, and there is a full SDK for us to use and build apps for the marketplace. So in the past, in XP, XM, we are building these apps inside the monolith. Now the way to build apps and make them available for the public is via the SDK. There is a QR code for you, and you will be able to scan this code and have access to SDK, so you can start playing with that. In a symposium, they had a booth. There was a marketplace hacker space where they were running in a loop the same session many times. It was a 45-minute session where you start from scratch, and 45 minutes you build a new app for the marketplace. I had a chance to witness one. I didn't participate because I didn't have my own notebook with me, but I saw many people, even with a Steam Deck, building a new marketplace app very quickly using AI, and it was even a fun experience. And important here, I think, is the marketplace normally is seen by people who use smartphones as a way to download new apps. For Sitecore, it is going to be the same, but it doesn't have to be always public apps. You can even monetize your app and have making money with the apps that you distribute. They're not public, but even if you want to keep them private, you can give access to your clients, for instance, and make them update their system very easily. The whole purpose with the cloud is that you don't have to do upgrades anymore, and Marketplace is making that easier by having even private libraries updated automatically by the creator, which is amazing. So that was a great one as well, Marketplace.
And Rodrigo, just before we go to the next slide, I
Yeah.
think the hacker space was actually something that I really liked about this symposium, because I mean it was like a small booth with just developers around the table talking around how to build something, and we had like everybody interested there. Like we had guys from Sitecore there. We had other partners, architects. Everybody was just like around this table talking around, oh, I want to integrate with this MCP. How do I do that? Am I having any problems? So it was actually very, very nice to, have this personal experience of everybody there trying and helping each other to make sure that we can actually get something very quick and be like like a simple marketplace app. But that I really like that part about the symposium. So
Yeah.
let's see. Hope next one we're gonna have something similar. Okay, so yeah, Connect.
Sitecore Connect is the fourth leg in this platform, the Agentic Studio, and Sitecore Connect is a way to build visually applications, business logics, very complex business logics. And for me, a developer, for us, a developer a long time, it's strange to be here promoting a no-code solution like this, but actually it makes it gives you so much power because you don't have to focus anymore with on the noise that you see in a code. Don't get me wrong, I still need code, but for building quick I would say, integrations in the cloud. We don't have anymore the back end. We can plug Sitecore Connect and very quickly build the conditions that you want and build the code just like a code, but it's visually. And the good part of that is that you can share this logic with your boss that doesn't know anything about development, because it's the whole business logic is visible. So it's good as well to help with the communication, and that's what makes me more excited with Sitecore Connect. My session in the symposium was about Sitecore Connect, by the way.
Okay, so the AI agents that we were just talking about before with Agentic Studio. So by default, Sitecore released 8 agents. So the blog writer, translator, researcher, bulk content generator. And we're gonna go through those in a moment. But I actually checked Sitecore AI yesterday. Was checking the Agentic Studio. Then there is even more. I didn't include it in the slide, but they're releasing new agents. And if you guys know what, I'm not sure if everybody knows here what an agent is, but it's different. An agent, if you look, for example, like menus or other AI tools out there, can actually see an agent in action, performing a specific task, not just generating content and as a response, but actually taking an action and taking decisions. Even like, for example, oh, I need to do this. I need to browse this particular link. I need to gather that information. So you actually get to see an agent in action. That's actually something that is really nice to see. So so a few of them here. So we had translator agent. So that's really the name itself, obvious, right? Translate a particular content into multiple languages, preserving the brand consistency. So this is not just like a typical translate, from English to Portuguese, for whatever language you're going to use. But basically, is to try to understand what is the right words, what is the right message to use, the right tone when you're actually translating a content, instead of just like translating the words, basically, right? We also had the brief generator, which is create briefs, right? Complex briefs in seconds. So helps, ensure campaign, you can start like, for example, a campaign with some solid foundation. So to really actually accelerate documentation without, replacing strategic thinking. And the last one is blog writer, which again, also self-obvious, but really to create blog posts, within the brand guidelines and the whole brand idea, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, like Diego mentioned, AI agents are now I'll say the king in this whole subject, because you can use these methods to automatize things. And here are a few more that Sitecore put together for us. It's important just to tell that you can use those to duplicate them and create your own specialized content generator or research agent, or even your specific agent. And you can build them using natural language. It's not needed to use any code or anything like that. That you just tell them what they should do, give the right proper content and context, and it will be able to give you like a content generator in the bulk one that's going to create a huge number of experiences from scratch, targeting specific audiences. The research agent that is particularly, I love doing that, which is brainstorming with the AI, having ideas tested with AI. That's for what researcher agent works. You can use research agent to research what people are doing, your competitors are doing, and learn from what they're doing to do better than them and find their weaknesses and all those things very easily with the research agent. The competitor analyzer is also important one. The SEO research agent I mentioned was the wrong one. That's to tell if you have a website that ranks well in Google, right? And I was speaking about the competitor analyzer agent as well. That for 6 very important agents that they release, but I'm ready to put my hands and build my own agents very soon. Yep, that's another one. I
Oops,
think we
sorry.
can jump this one.
Yeah, let's go to agentic flows. Yes.
Right. Agentic flows. So now we have these agents, but they have to speak to each other. They have to speak to you, the human. They have to be triggered by something, maybe an email or a message or a phone call. And this is a workflow, right? Agentic workflow is now the new software in Sitecore that allows us to build the workflow also very easily, visually, and tell what's the next step, what's the previous step, what kicks starts things, how people get into the workflows. And by tying agents in a workflow, you can connect the agents and create these automated workflows very easily. And you can build, no matter how complex your workflow is, your company can change it very easily and have AI doing a lot of work that people used to have doing manually before. So that's why this is also a very expected feature.
Okay, this was also another major drop by Sitecore, Sitecore Pathway. I was actually surprised when I saw that because the whole idea of this tool is to actually help with content migration, which to me personally is one of it's always a big problem when we're dealing with migrations from either XP to XM Cloud or with different platforms over to Sitecore. We always have to deal around that's what we do with that content, right? So this tool was built by Sitecore to actually help expedite that. I saw an example inside Core's booth of a migration from an XP to an XM Cloud. This is a wizard tool where you can actually do mappings of templates, fields, and what is being brought over and what is going to be what is going to that turn out to be after the migration is done. Sitecore did say that they also plan to start with migrations just with XM Cloud first, but really the idea is to actually expose that for external integrations with other CMS platforms as well. So I'm curious to actually see that in action as well. But I mean, this is actually a major uplift, in my opinion, in the platform to actually help bring more customers over to what used to be XM Cloud, now Sitecore AI. Yeah, so anything you want to add here, Rodrigo?
Yeah, let's see how that works. Migrating content in Sitecore has always been a pain, and yeah, looking forward to seeing that in action because that's gonna make transitions more easy and cheaper. Yes, that's
Exactly.
gonna be a big one.
MCP.
Yep, MCP. So everybody's talking about MCP, Model Context Protocol. That is a pattern on using AI to build to plug your stuff with agents. So by using MCP, you can have ChatGPT, for instance, or Claude working with Sitecore and doing things that a normal person would do with Sitecore only visually, like creating items, deleting items, publishing, and doing mass changes that normally we had to previously build a PowerShell script. Now we can use MCP, for instance, to just ask, give me a list of items that haven't been touched in the last 10 years or something like that. It's gonna be providing these for you with MCP. So it's a new way to plug AI with the platform, and I think it makes even more sense now in this kind of days that we are, where things are changing so often, right? So yeah, MCP, people are looking out for that, and finally we got it.
Um, the so what about XP, right? I mean, we haven't talked much about XP. Is XP, going anywhere? I mean, I did attend a session. I'm gonna go to the next slide in a moment, but Sitecore is still investing, likely in XP, is maintaining it. There are some requests around, especially AI in XP. So why don't we go to the next slide? So here's XP's roadmap. I mean, if you look at these columns, and this is actually publicly available, you can always access, Sitecore's roadmap. But I'm going to look here because it's actually easier for me to read this. But Sitecore is basically one of the sessions I saw was they were working around content creation and translation for XP using Sitecore Stream. I mean, they also have in the roadmap to release Sitecore 10.5 for XP. So there are things there, if you look here, that they're still being maintained. But of course, the major driver of the business really is they're trying to push everyone towards Sitecore AI, right? But if you're still using XP, there's still some things some improvements that you're gonna get in the next few quarters. All right, that's on you, Rodrigo.
Right, and part of the symposium is where people are sending their papers and get selected as speakers, what they call breakout sessions. This year they got three different types of sessions. A normal session of 30 minutes, which is a solo session where you speak yourself or with a co-speaker. They got panels where it's basically debating about a subject and not express talking about giving a lot of content, but speaking about debating. And in that kind of session, you got more people speaking, and they got workshops. And you saw one of the workshops with Marketplace. I got two papers selected this year. Was a big honor, but at the same time, a lot of work to put together these two sessions. The first was the one you see on screen, where I got a nice room this time. They make me, for some reason, put me in a big room this time, and I got a kind of good audience. We're speaking about Sitecore Connect, as I mentioned, but using Sitecore Connect as a middleware in a cloud days, right? Where you have to have your logic somewhere. Some people will add the logic to Azure functions, for instance, or someone keep their own middleware manually using Azure, for instance. But by using Sitecore Connect, you can have a lot of better control on how you manage your middleware. Security, concurrency, a lot of things like that are there out of the box, very easy to run. Um, a few shots on me on stage. Yeah, I was very concentrated. And in the next slide, that was the panel where more philosophic chat about using AI in these days, how much are still there for us as human beings. If everything is going to be managed by AI, what are you still doing, right? That was the main topic in the session where we debated, myself, Lisa Strausman, Paul Collins, and the big Mo Sheriff. Mo Sheriff, the guy in the right with the red shirt, he's also director of AI in Sitecore. And so that was a big honor to have these guys on stage with me. And the audience here got also, I think, very interested on whatever we were thinking on, because people are a little anxious about losing their jobs, becoming irrelevant, right? Because of AI. And we were there to discuss all those things and also learn from the audience, from their arguments. So that was a great panel. Second time I do a panel in the symposium. This year was for sure the most important one, the most interested one.
MVP Summit?
Yeah, MVP Summit, and we're reaching the end. Um, we don't have any questions in the chat, but please, if you have any question, drop in the chat or raise your hand after. But yeah, so in the end of the symposium, we got, if you are an MVP, you got this extra session, MVP Summit. It's one day where the MVPs are going to speak to the Sitecore engineering team and product team, so you can have ask questions and learn. They will give you a lot of content that I cannot disclose because it's for now is still top secret, still NDA. But we got our hands in this kind of content. It's a big privilege to be having this information firsthand. And not to say, you see, not to mention the big networking that you can do. You see the picture there where we have most of the Sitecore MVPs in the world in the same picture. And it's not easy to do this. A lot of flights to get these people in the same room because we have members from all parts of the world. But today, this year, we got this very special moment. The guy I'm pointing here is Tamás Varga. Tamás Varga is an old guy. I would say he's still young, but he's an old time with us in the Sitecore community, taking care of the MVP program. So if you are MVP or if you had been an MVP in the past, you know Tamás because he's so gentle, because he's always so patient, giving us the information we need. Even if we ask many times, he will not complain and give you the link again. And he will take care if your swags or your trophies are not coming, they will send you a backup without complaining. He is amazing. He is the first guy that we got in the Sitecore MVP group, and that's why I got him. We, the Sitecore community, got him as the MVP king. Uh, yeah, people were very emotional because of that, and it was a highlight of this whole week. And I think with that, we are finished.